To master your interview, to make sure your interview is impactful and memorable and that you do well on your interview, first thing you want to do is to get on as many interviews as possible. Practice, 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 right? The more you do it, the better you get. Welcome to Mastery Podcast, where we share stories about impact-driven entrepreneur to create ripple effect of positivity. I am your host, Dr. Sass. I help entrepreneurs improve their brand message, crush it on camera to attract more clients and create more impact. Today, we're gonna dive right into a topic that is very essential for anyone out there, entrepreneur, business owner, coaches, author, who want to share their ideas, their business and their services to a broader audience. That is mastering media interview. Tip number 1 is get featured on multiple media channels. Why? Media interviews are powerful tools for entrepreneurs because they help you share your story to the broader audience. For example, my interview with Pascal Bachman, where he shares story about his multiple media interview, where all this support in boosting his brand and connect with his audience. And what should you do? You want to be featured and interviewed on as many media outlets as possible. You want to be on podcasts, media news interview, and articles. And for guidance on how to get featured on this media, consult experts like Strategy Achievers, and you can connect us with us at Mastery Podcast. The link below in the description. Tip number 2 is to make sure you have the right mindset. You are in the proper mindset right before you go on the interview. And through my years of experience and interviewing multiple successful entrepreneurs, business owners, 7 and 8 figure income earners, they all say the same thing. First thing they do is right before you go on an interview, there are green rooms, right? And what they do there, they have calm music. They have music that motivate you. Whatever that music is, listen to that before you go on the interview to put you in the flow state, to put you in that calm state. Another thing you can do is do this deep breath, right? Close your eyes and do the breathing exercise and imagine you in some place where it is calm and the place where it supports you to just be relaxed. Another thing you can do is a short meditation, and it doesn't need to be that long. It could be just half a minute, 2 minutes, and not that long at all, to put you into that again, the flow state, right? One thing you can do, and you can do all this simultaneously, right? Listen to music, breathing, meditation, and visualization. Visualize a successful interview. Visualize you being very confident, delivering your message, and answering the questions that you are being interviewed. Tip number 3 is preparation. Preparation is the key for any successful interview, right? For example, I interviewed this young lady. Her name is Shirley Vecchio. Her interview was immaculate. You can tell she knows her stuff. She was prepared. She answered all the pre-interview questions in advance. So make sure she think through all the stuff. And even that, she knows her stuff. She's passionate about what she does. So be prepared, study your materials. And what you need to do? First, you want to do the research on the platform, on the person who interviewing you. What kind of style do they have? What type of questions do they normally ask? And if they don't give you the questions beforehand, you can come up with that questions, the questions that you want the interviewer to interview you so you can create that impactful message during the interview. Another thing you can do is research the audience of the person who interviewing you. What kind of magazine you're going to be in? What kind of podcast? What kind of TV? Was it the news? And what type of show is that? Is it a talk show? Is it just information? And how long you're going to be on the interview. All these are important preparations for you to have before you go on the interview. Tip number 4 is deliver your message effectively. And that is really important to make sure that your story, your message are memorable. And how do you do that? I suggest you watch the episode where I talk about Soundbites. Your interview should be memorable. Your message should be memorable. Check out that episode, and the link is in the description below. For example, during my interview of Alex Dumas, he create this very impactful story. He told the story about how he lost his job and being a father for the first time. A very impactful story. And he also created this soundbite where he said, everybody wins. And I remember that soundbite was very impactful. I even used it and write it on my whiteboard and said, this is the soundbite. This is the message to remind myself that whatever I do, the work that I do is, the result is that everybody wins. And it is memorable. So create those soundbites, impactful messages that you want your audience to remember you by. You want to also use storytelling techniques, and if you need support with that, Crush It on Camera, our event, our training program with the link below, you can check it out. We help support you to tell your story in the most impactful way. Body language is very important. It conveys that you are confident. It's conveyed that you know what you're talking about. This is not a natural thing, right? It is a learned skill. How do you use your hand gesture? I suggest you study those, and if you need support with that, check us on the link below. We can literally support you with that. For example, when I interviewed Samantha Brown, she had her hands gesture and her body language at the right place. She really know what she's doing. When she described her message or her program, she said, with this hand gesture, amazing. So practice your hand gesture and practice your body language. One thing you want to avoid during interview is avoid crossing your arms or doing the different things, act boring. Avoid any of those and stay very engaged, eye contact, and listen. Your listening skill is also important. Tip number 6 is know how to handle difficult questions. That's why the previous tips are very important. The tips of creating soundbite, creating impactful messages, because you can really, with the prepare messages, prepare soundbite, you can bring the narrative back to what you want to deliver. I want to give you an example of an interview I had with Jean Marie Dillon, and she answered the difficult questions very well. And I can tell that it touches her heart, right? She remembered the story, and it was very emotional for her. But she was prepared. She told her story, and she remains calm. And you can tell the story touches her, it's impactful. And this is a story where she tells the employee come in the room and share that she probably gonna have to work for the rest of her life. And that's when Jean decided to change her career and went back to school. And you see, when you know your stuff, when you're prepared to tell your story, whatever difficult questions that may be, it could be that it put you in a situation where you are very emotional. And what you can do is just stay quiet, take a minute to breathe, and collect yourself and then tell your story in a very calm and a matter-of-fact way. So 4 things, right, to handle the difficult questions. First, you want to stay calm and maintain your composure. Second, you want to take a moment to think about your answer to the question. And third, you want to acknowledge the question and answer it in a way that you transition it back or transition to the story that you want to tell or the message you want to bring across. And again, this go back to preparation, right? Prepare your story in advance. Prepare your message in advance. Last tip, y'all. Tip number 7 is post-interview. Your work is not done after the interview. I want to tell a story about one of my guests, Dr. P. She very prepared. Before the interview, she shared her story on her social media. Before the interview, during the interview, or the day of the interview, and after that. And that is very important to get your message across, to get people to come and listen and watch and read your media releases, your media interview. So what are the things you want to do after the interview? You want to send a thank you note or an email. Just send a thank you for the person who interviewed you, and that speaks volume. And as I mentioned before, you want to share your interview on your social media, on your website, and everywhere to share it with your families and friends so they can see, hear, and read your message. And thirdly, you want to reflect on your interview. Watch it. I know for some people, they come to me and they're like, Dr. Sands, I need to prepare myself because, watching me on the YouTube channel, on the TV it's just so weird. But to get better, you want to kind of reflect and see how well you did. Ask yourself these 2 questions. What are the things that I did well? What are the things that I want to improve? And you pick that one thing that you want to improve and really hone on that skills. Make sure you improve on that one skills at a time. It doesn't need to be all the 10 skills I need to improve. It is a journey. You get better as you do more and more media interviews. So to recap about what we talked about, to master your interview, to make sure your interview is impactful and memorable and that you do well on your interview, first thing you want to do is to get on as many interviews as possible. Practice, 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 right? The more you do it, the better you get. Secondly, you want to adopt a good mindset. Third, preparation. You want to be prepared. Fourth, you want to deliver your message effectively. So prepare those soundbites in advance. Fifth, you want to be able to handle the difficult questions. And lastly, post-interview follow-up. What should you do after that? And these are strategies that will help you shine on your next media interview. If you found this information helpful, please comment below, give us a thumbs up, like, and follow, subscribe. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope this episode has been helpful for you. If you want more support, more help, you want to check us out, please click the link below on Crush It on Camera with Mastery Podcast. And until next time, keep on striving for mastery in all that you do. Bye for now.